is certainly Right on Time. That was Aaron Cole with Right on Time. It features Toby Mac. Ahead of that, Stevie Valentine with God is on Time. Do you see the theme there?
It's very timeless.
See what you did there. It is 18 minutes after 4 o'clock, the second hour of the CCFM Drive. If you have just tuned in, happy Monday. It's the last Monday of July. Happy New Week. And if no one has told you, you are absolutely phenomenal. You are beautiful. You are loved. You are wonderfully and fearfully made.
Something very important in one's life is not just a role model, but a positive one. And it's so exciting because on today's edition of The Big Positive Guy, we're going to be chatting to the Big Positive Guy himself, Andre du Toit, as well as Tina Be Alive. And we're going to be touching on the role of a positive role model. But also, if you remember, if you were listening in last week, towards the end, I think it was, we did allude to it, touch on a little bit. But Tina Be Alive was nominated.
Yes.
And we're going to touch on that because we've got some great news to share, is that she won those awards. Round of applause to Tina. Wow, and it's so massive. We're going to get into that. Before we get into that, I'd just like to greet Andre as well as Tina. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Just say to me that, what about I'm beautiful again?
You are beautiful.
Thank you,
are
my darling.
fearfully and wonderfully
I'm
made.
fearfully and wonderfully made. Just all you people out there, you heard it right here on CCFM.
Live on radio.
I was going to say Andre's favorite word is gorgeous.
Yes, I should have said. I
Want
should
to be
have added
gorgeous?
that part. Yes.
Thanks,
Oh,
guys. It's
man.
wonderful to be here. Is it not colder?
I don't know. I was saying to Rome, it's not as cold. Maybe because I've got this big jacket on
You
or
must
jersey on.
Come
but
up
it
to
doesn't-
Pinelands. It
Ah.
was freezing out there in Pinelands.
Sure. Yeah. Tell me it's winter without telling me it's winter.
Tina, good afternoon to you. Should I say winner? Should I say Tina? I don't know how to address you.
Tina B winning.
Love it. Love it.
Did you have a good weekend?
I had the most amazing weekend. My very best friend, we've been best friends since we were 12 years old. They live in New Zealand now. She came to visit me for the weekend. It was incredible.
Oh, man. I thought you were going to say it was amazing because, she won. But
Oh no, like get real, guys.
These are school friends. They don't get impressed by things like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh, so you became a prince. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, man.
I think before we touch on what this award means to you, I'd love for you to take us a little bit back in terms of how did you feel when you found out that you were nominated, and what were the thoughts in your head or in your mind?
When Andre said he was going to nominate me, I was like, okay, cool. And then he sent me like a form, like I had to fill in a whole lot of stuff and like my CV and like my degrees. And I was like, no, Andre, I'm not filling this and don't nominate me. Like these people are serious corporate, like, and they've studied and they've got PhDs and like, I'm out, like that's not me. And with a bit of coaxing and everything, he was like, no, T, just tell your story and be you and be real and don't worry about all that other stuff. He said, he said, I'm nominating you because to me, you are a positive role model.
Oh, man.
And so when your friend and your mentor and your coach says that to you, like, how can you just not be humbled and think to yourself, oh, wow, okay, best I do what I'm told.
Now I'm going to
Sure.
start crying again.
Oh, man. And that's just the thing, isn't it? I think when you're so used to your story, you don't think that it is unique or it's uncommon because it's your story. But when someone says it to you and sort of affirms, these milestones and your influence, it just changes everything, doesn't it?
How many of us don't have mothers who never finished school or even went to school, who were so humble and simple and, didn't know how to vote properly or anything like that, but were the most amazing human beings and the most incredible role models. I often feel about my mother.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have 25 degrees or a title or something amazing stuff like that, but your life has to inspire others. And that's for me the thing about role models.
Sure. Yeah, has to inspire others. Tina Be Alive, you there, you're seated. I assume you're seating. And then you hear your name being announced as the winner. You were up against these huge corporates, CEOs. You were the underdog.
Totally.
And your name gets announced. What happens? What are you feeling? What happens to Tina Be Alive?
Tina B is sitting there and she's like ready to clap for whoever is the person. And I'm like, and then Andre says, Tina B. And I was like, you want to what now? Who? Oh, that's me.
Sure.
So it took me a couple of milliseconds to like realize, oh geez, Tina, you have to stand up now and go and get the award. But yeah, absolute complete shock. Didn't expect that at all.
Sure.
Sure. And most times it's someone close to us who knows the potential that we have before we know it at times. When you were saying that it took a while for you, you were getting ready to clap for whoever was someone else
Yeah.
but yourself. But why not you? Why not you?
Well, exactly.
Sure.
If not you, who else? You know?
Sure. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I wanna we're gonna come back to you, Tina, but I wanna come to you, Andre, and I wanna talk about, the thing is, in this life, people are constantly watching us, and whether we know it or we don't know it, but that is a fact. But someone is always watching you. I know that it's a saying that you love. Talk to us about that particular phrase.
I did an entire radio show on this subject about someone is always watching you.
Yeah.
So I've been speaking now for 15 years, and I've got this huge following on social media. But Tina will tell you the number of times people come along and they'll say, "Hi, Andre, we want to do this with you. I want to work with you," and stuff like that. And I say, "Hi, where do you know me from?" And I'm on your social media. But I've never heard of them. They've never clicked like. They've never made a comment and stuff. Then they'll say something like, "I've been watching you for 4 or 5 years." And I don't think we realize how many people are out there quietly listening and saying, "Are you in there for the long run? Is this just Romy because he's on drive time? Or Romy will still be like this when he's not on drive time? Is he still going to be the positive, upbeat kind of guy?" And I think people are watching you all the time. And so to be a positive role model, for me, is a really big accolade. I'd rather win that prize than sort of best businessman or something. Because it means my life is showing something that other people want to aspire to. And so one of the things I want to say to you, if you feel like you're a role model, or you're doing something well, or you're standing out in your family, in your community, one thing I want to say to you is you can't slip.
Yeah.
You can't slip on the weekends, or you can't slip at night, or you can't slip on the holiday, or do stupid things, when you think no one's watching, because someone's always watching you. And obviously the big one that's watching you is God's always watching you. But I think what happens in a worldly terms, someone's always looking and seeing, are you this person that you claim to be? And as Christians, we're always standing up there and saying, this is what you must do and stuff. Be very careful when you do that. And then you do the complete opposite in a party next week, because that little rumor will go around like wildfire.
And then your integrity is questionable.
Everything's
your
impugned,
character is questionable, which of course takes us to sort of the last point, which is the characteristics or the qualities that make up a role model, and how we can use this, to be an impact or a positive impact to those around us.
So I think you can be a role model, a positive or a negative role model. So I think the question is, are you going to be positive or negative? In order to be a positive role model in the world, we need to have some sort of self-awareness about who we are, what we stand for, and have a positive outlook on life, and believe in better days and better things to come. But I think it's hugely important that we have empathy for other people, we're kind to other people, that we are humble, our heads don't get too big with awards and accolades and things like that, and be professional. Always, whenever you are out and about, or even at home, just be cognizant of the fact that other people are watching. And they it might be older people, but in often situations, it's younger people that are looking up to you, even in your home, especially in your home, whether you're a parent, an aunt, just a beloved friend of the family. Children are watching all the time. And especially in a day and age now with social media, and we're all putting everything out there, just someone is watching you all the time. So just make sure that you are the same at home, out, in a professional environment. You are always the same person.
There's one thing I'd like to maybe add to that. So as Tina says, someone's watching. And so you are a certain person. You decided this is who I am. You become that person and you live that life. And that's amazing. And she is that person. She's a positive role model. But I think what drags Tina a little bit further over the line is that you can be a positive role model. In other words, people are just watching you. Or you can be proactively changing people's lives. You can actually get involved and try to lift other people up.
Yeah.
And that's something that she does as a coach. as a terminal illness coach, as a surgery coach. She does this and she lifts other people up when they're down. And that's, I always want to say, that's like the second degree of positive role model. It's one thing to be a nice, cool guy or cool girl. It's another thing to be the cool girl who actually goes there and stops the people from bullying a little kid.
Yeah.
Or helping somebody who's in need and actually lifting those people up as well.
And just to bring it home, I mean, you don't necessarily have to be this big icon. You can be a positive change in your environment. Is that not so? In your home, in your church, in your school.
But not only that, I mean, one of the things that Tina says, and I can't do it over the air, obviously, but there were at least 4 CEOs of stock exchange listed companies in that same circle of people that were being nominated. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're the best role model. Just because you're the boss doesn't make you a role model. Being a role model is when people are starting to follow you and want to be like you. How many bosses do you know you don't want to be anything like them? So just having a series of degrees and stuff is nice. What happens if you can get a series of degrees and you become the boss, and then you can be an even fantastic role model? But unfortunately, very often you're so busy you haven't got time for that.
Yeah.
And so, so I think Tina's excellent. I had a sneaking suspicion she'd be a great positive role model. But I must say, I was still a bit surprised. there were some hectic people there.
I was
Sure.
completely, honestly, I'm still quite shocked. But at the end of the day, I think it attests to the fact that it doesn't matter who you are.
And so what do we do now with this? Do we now walk around and we actually were thinking about getting a billboard, positive role model, Tina B down there, just there by the Blue Route.
Yeah.
By the Blue Route as you come around the corner.
Yeah.
But the thing is
Sure.
now is to take this, enjoy the win. But what do you do with it from now on?
Absolutely.
And I think this even puts more pressure on you to keep doing what you're doing and keep remembering that you're somebody special. I think the biggest thing for me is that making Tina realize how special she really is. And that I think none of us think we're special
Yeah.
until somebody else says you are.
I have a question for someone who is at home and may not necessarily hear that they are a positive role model. Maybe they don't know that they're a positive role model. What do you have to say to that person?
I just watched Julia, our little daughter. She grew up with my mother, who was her great grandmother, and now she's died. And it was interesting. It was an anniversary of her death a few days ago, and the glowing Facebook report that Julia wrote about this woman who changed her life, looked after her, changed her nappy. And maybe you're one of those people. You're just the granny or the mother, or you doing the best you can and stuff like that. And sometimes we don't even hear these things when we're alive. It was wonderful for me to hear my daughter give her Gogo the accolades that I hope she knew that she was thought about like that. But, even after her death, everyone realized what an amazing woman she was.
And so this obviously emphasizes that if you do have a moment to sort of affirm someone and really just give them their flowers and, while they can still smell them, please do it before, of course, it
I
is
love
too
that.
late. Right.
Do it while they're alive. Tell them how amazing they are while they're alive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
And as you're speaking, I was just thinking to myself, and you mentioned this, you touched on this, Andre, when you said pressure, and it came to my mind that pressure is privilege. Pressure is privilege,
Absolutely.
because with that pressure and with that privilege that you have, that platform, you can influence lives. And it depends, will you influence them negatively or positively? It depends on the role model or the subject that we're speaking of, but that pressure is privileged. And what a privilege you have right now.
I do indeed. You humble me every day. I must be honest. Like it is, and and the pressure is to carry on doing what you're doing. And for me, I've just been being myself. So, like, it's just
Now
again,
the
it's
pressure
just-
starts. Now the pressure starts. Being yourself is pressureful now.
So if anyone wants to sponsor a billboard with my face on it, let me know.
Oh man, sure.
Wow.
We've got Tina Be Alive, Andre the Big Positive Guy, always bringing us the wisdom and the positivity, and of course talking about the importance of being a positive role model, what that looks like, and how you can continue being a positive role model.
If we want to stay in touch with you, how can we do that? What's the best method or platform to do that?
I think they should go find Tina B on LinkedIn. Everybody that's listening, and I know there's thousands of you. Everyone's going to LinkedIn, go onto a post when she says she won, and write something amazing. And just click like and everything all over her LinkedIn. That hundreds of thousands of people will go there and just say what an amazing child she is. So she'll eventually start to believe it.
Oh man. Well, there you have it. I don't know about you, but I
LinkedIn.
have certainly been encouraged. Any last words that you want to say again to someone who is maybe needing that affirmation today via the airwaves?
I would just like to say that you are a positive role model, whoever you are. You are doing the very best that you can every single day, and it's exhausting. And I understand because I've been there, and it's a slog. But don't stop, because it is darkest before the dawn.
Love that.
Darkest before dawn. Yeah. I'm taking that one home with me.
But guys, also before we let you go, so I don't know if you recall, we had quite a number of people reaching out saying, listen, they want to connect with, getting their voices. And
Yes. What happened with that?
so we want to ask you that question for those that
Did we have more than one person?
we
though?
had more than 20 people.
Oh, fabulous.
I'll tell you that much. So what does that look like without giving too much away? I don't mean to put it in the
I
spot
don't
here.
know. I mean, we can make it happen.
Okay.
So all those people who wanted to develop their voice,
Yes.
they wanted to grasp down and sort of see who they are. Have we got a way of contacting them? Number one.
They did send a number of email addresses. Yes.
All right. If anybody did not send the email address, but you did say that, I think, can they just email you now?
Yes. Yes.
So you can give them all those details. Yeah, I think we must get together. And here's the interesting part, is that I have got 2 guest trainers.
Mhm.
Did you hear about that?
No.
Natasha Kamalu, Romeo Pekani are going to be there, because I think is that one of the things, and for all those listeners out there, I don't think you know how good these 2 really are in terms of their voice, their skills, their speaking abilities and stuff. And so I'm challenging you guys to come out there and come train with us.
Okay.
And what we do is maybe grab a Saturday morning or something
Okay.
and go teach these kids to sound like a Romeo.
I love that.
Huh?
On that note, Mr. Andre, the Big Positive Guy, has spoken. Please send through your email address with the hashtag The Voice to 061 798 1075.
Tina, as we're speaking about spamming your account on LinkedIn, we've got a listener, Whitney, here. She can't find you on
Yeah,
LinkedIn.
on LinkedIn.
What should she write, or what can they to find you on LinkedIn?
Tina Be Alive.
Okay, so it's Tina and then the letter B,
The letter B.
and then space alive.
Yes,
And
my
it
gosh.
should automatically pop up.
It should automatically pop up.
We'll test it right now.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
just
actually
testing it.
busy on LinkedIn right now.
But it's Tina
Yeah.
and then the letter B.
Capital letter B and then new word
Alive.
alive.
And is
Okay.
that our fantastic Whitney?
That is our
With the
fantastic
voice.
Whitney. Yes.
Yes.
That is her. Well, there
Okay.
you have it. Guys, thank you so much. And super excited, of course, to, the messages coming through again, hashtag The Voice. But where to from here? Miss Tina Be Alive with the award. What's going to happen?
I think just more of the same. I
Okay.
think more of me trying to help in any way that I can, me sharing my story. It's August at the end of the week, and August is Organ Donor Month, as well as Women's Day and Women's Month and whatever. So yeah, just me, taking off and just spreading the good news of the fact that I'm alive because of someone else's kindness.
So Tina's really busy at the moment, but we suddenly realized we should have advertised more. It's Women's Month.
Yes.
So if you run a big organization, a women's organization or a women's club or something like that, you want something for Women's Day, obviously we'd have to do a chat about it, and you want to hear Tina's story, which is quite a moving story, contact one of the 2 of you and you guys can let me know. And we'll see. Maybe we can do 1 or 2 if you're interested.
Yeah, for any speaking engagements, please contact my agent, the Big Positive Guy.
On that note, we have to say goodbye to Tina Be Alive and Andre the Big Positive Guy. Check them out on LinkedIn for further information. In a bit, we have World of Worship with Alpha and Omega, as well as Traffic with Romeo.